Welcome you all. In this video, we discuss about the topic of software development lifecycle. It is very important topic in software engineering. Shortly, this topic is abbreviated as SDLC. The SDLC model, that is software development lifecycle model, a framework that describes the activity performed at each stage of a software development project. So each and every stages, what are the activity that the developer do, that is described by the SDLC model. SDLC phases requirements gathering and analysis, design is a second phase, and development, testing is a third, fourth phases, implementation, maintenance. It consisting these six phases. SDLC model to help understand and implement the SDLC phases, various SDLC model have been created software development experts, university and standards organization. Reason for using this software development lifecycle model provides basic for project planning, estimating and scheduling, provide framework for standard set of terminology, activities and deliverables, provide mechanism for project tracking and control, increase visibility of project progress to all stakeholders. Advantage of choosing an appropriate SDLC. Software development lifecycle model consisting various models. Among that various model have its own advantages and disadvantages. Here I am telling about what are the advantages of choosing an appropriate SDLC. Increased development speed, increased product quality, increased or improved the tracking and control, decreased the project risk, decreased the project management overhead. Common life cycle models. It consists, the SDLC consists waterfall model, prototype model, incremental model, spiral model. Waterfall model have the phases of requirement, design and implementation. Requirement, design, implementation, test and maintenance. That's how in the figure. Requirement defines the needed information, function, behavioral performance and interfaces. Design defines data structure, software architecture, interface representation, algorithm details. Implementation consists source code, database, user documentation and testing. Waterfall model, oldest and most well-known SDLC model, follows a sequential step-by-step process from requirement analysis to maintenance. System that have well-defined and understood requirement are a good fit for the waterfall model. The waterfall model is also called is linear sequential model or classic life cycle model. So whether the question is asked what is classic life cycle model, you should answer from waterfall model because waterfall model is called a classic life cycle model. Benefit of waterfall model. It is easy to understand, easy to use, provide structure to inexperienced staff, sets requirement stability, good for management control, that is plan, staff, track. That's all. Drawback of waterfall model. All requirement must be fully specified upfront. Before starting to proceed the project, we must know about all the requirement. That should be the major drawback of this waterfall model. Deliverables created for each phase are considered frozen, inhibits flexibility, can give you a false impression of progress. Little opportunity for customer to preview. It have the little opportunity to preview the development until it may be too late. The customer can see the working model of the project at the end only. This is the drawback. When to choose it? Requirement are very well known. If you know the requirement very well known for my developing project means I can choose waterfall model. Product definition is stable. Technology is understood. New version of an existing product porting on existing product to a new platform. Prototype model. You can see that prototype model from it started with the requirements gathering, quick design, building prototype and customer evaluation and refining prototype, engineering product like that. So prototype is a working model of software with some limited functionality. Prototype does not always hold the exact logic used in the actual software application. Prototype is used to allow the user evaluate development proposal and try them out before implementation. Here you can listen. I am highlighting the technological keywords here which is help you to develop or write the content in a depth manner. It helps get variable feedback from the customer and helps the software designer. Benefit of prototype model: increased user involvement in the product even before its implementation. Quicker user feedback is available, leading to better solution. Missing functionality can be identified easily. Confusing or difficult function can be identified. Reduce time and cost as the defect can be detected much earlier. Drawback of prototype model: risk of insufficient requirement analysis, owing to too much dependency on the prototype. Users may get confused in the prototype and the actual systems. The effort invested in building prototype may be too much if it is not monitored properly. The first version may have some compromises. Sometimes the developer may take or may make implementation compromises to get prototype working quickly. These are the drawback of prototype model. When to choose it? Software applications that are relatively easy to prototype almost always involve human machine interaction. HCI, the prototype model, is suggested. A general objective of software is defined but not detailed input, processing or output requirement. When the developer is unsure of the efficiency of an algorithm or the adaptability of an operating system, then prototype serves a better choice. Increment model. Increment model you can see in the diagram in the phase of iteration 1, iteration 2 up to n iteration. Everything is contained: requirement analysis, design, coding, software product increment. So next to software product increment 2, then software product up to increment n, you can do that incrementation model. The increment model has some phase that are in waterfall model, but it is iterative in nature. The first increment in this model is generally a core product. Each increment builds the product and submit it to the customer for any suggested modification. The next increment implement on the customer suggestion and the additional requirement in the previous increment. Benefit of increment model: the increment model can be adopted when there is a less number of people involved in the project. Customer gets important functionally early, lowers initial delivery cost. Each release is a product increment so that the customer will have a working product at hand all the time. Requirement changes can be easily accommodated. These are the benefit of increment model. Drawbacks: requires effective planning of iteration. Problem may arise pertaining to system architecture because not all requirements are gathered upfront. So gathering all the requirement upfront is to be the problem. Requires early definition of a complete and fully functional system to allow the definition of increments. When to choose it? There is a need to get the basic functionality delivered fast. A new technology is being used. Resources with needed skill set are not available. The domain is new to the team. At the time you can choose this model. Spiral model, it should be level by level, it will be growth. You can see in this diagram. The spiral model is similar to increment model when more emphasis placed on risk analysis. Each loop in a spiral represents a development phase. You can see that loop, each looping representing a development phase. Each loop has a 4 section or quadrant. The spiral model is divided into number of framework activity. The framework activity are denoted by task regions. Benefit of spiral model: high amount of risk analysis, hence avoidance of risk is enhanced. Strong approval and documentation control. Changing requirement can be accommodated. Good for large and mission critical projects. Software is produced early in the software life cycle. Drawback of spiral model: can be costly model to use. Management is more complex. Not suitable for small or low risk project and could be expensive for small projects. Process is complex. Spiral may go on indefinitely. Large number of intermediate stages requires exclusive documentations. So documentations need a large number of intermediate stages. You can see from the diagram. When to choose it? When cost and risk evaluation is important. For medium to high risk projects, long-term projects, commitment unwise because of potential changes to economic priorities, requirement are complex, new product line, significant changes are expected, research and exploration. So these are the very essential model of SDLC consisting this model. I am representing the key terminologies before you to correctly present this model in a better manner. I think it will be help you a lot. Thank you.